It's Wednesday, podcast like a bell ends day. No one's here because they've all fucked off to watch The Apprentice.
That wasn't what we agreed. How dare you? How dare you indeed.
You wanted the show started with a musical number.
The musical number, not a musical number. I didn't give you free rein.
What you pay for and you pay me nothing.
You get to stay in the Holocaust flat. That's enough. That's more than enough. There are a lot of people that don't even get that.
So does bacteria. It's not a recommendation.
Well, I think, hopefully people will soon start logging in on the chat and saying hello. That would be ideal. Because obviously at the moment there's nobody in the chat, which is always a sign that people are kind of looking at the wrong bit of the site and we are just talking to each other. But obviously this does go out as a podcast anyway, so we have to kind of make this bit slightly interesting, even if it's not. So there we go. Monday Movie Show. That'll be Stuart there. Cryptic Tadpole on Twitter. He's in. Hello, Stuart. How are you? There you
Stuart,
go.
come in and talk to us, man.
Yeah, HDVD. Yeah, you're in as well.
Come and tell us how much you hate the Avengers.
Let's get add people to the call. Let's send. I've got HDVD. I've got him, but I haven't got Stuart. And HDVD's not answering. Come on, don't fail. Come on,
have you
HDVD.
heard that PS Vita is down €50 in France?
For a limited period. I bought one today.
It's the domino effect. It's the beginning of the end. It's the slippery slope.
Yeah, I bought one today from work, second hand, and then came home to the news that at that point wasn't confirmed. It was just France. It was €50 off in Europe. I was like, for fuck's sake!
You're such a twat.
Of all the time into it, I got it for 160 quid, which covered my memory card as well. So
Why would you spend that on that?
Because I get to play most of the games for free once I've bought it, so I'm not actually spending a huge amount. So yeah,
right, it's a victory, but it's not a moral victory.
No, it's not. It's not. But then I'm also the person that bought an Atari Lynx, so it's still a step up from that.
Oh god, I would like to be able to take the piss, but I still love my Virtual Boy.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy that is essentially the spiritual forerunner for the 3DS in more ways than one, because it still induces mind-crippling headaches in idiots, and and it is pretty much defined by a tennis game.
We've got Andrew. We
got him, are we?
If this is working, yeah.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Holocaust flat. Make yourself comfortable on one of the futons.
Hang on. Yeah, okay. Now I'm comfortable.
Well, no, there's no need to do that. That noise invoked the image of a wank. Yeah. Anyway,
we'll fetch him up.
We're on Skype. I think I've got an invite on there as well. Let's have a look.
I have no idea what this is like, because this is the first time I'm actually using Skype on the iPad. So,
well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Oh my god!
And you hear this is literally the most cobbled together audio experience in the history of mankind. There are tribes in Africa using baked bean tins that are probably getting better audio and better organisation than we are. Right now, I've got two headsets gaffer taped together, so that because one to listen to and one to talk through. Because
I'm outnumbered by
bad audio. I'm just every time we start putting together things for the show, for Monday Movie Show, I end up with dodgy mics and stuff. I've gone through about 4 headsets.
I like you got your little kind of pimping for your website there. That was well done. Well done. Congratulations.
I thought it was worth a try.
Oh, it was. It was. I mean, if you're listening at home, he comes from a site, the Monday Movie Show. Is it .com?
.co.uk.
That's better than .com anyway, especially this Jubilee weekend. Salute the Queen. And he's on there with Cryptic Tadpole on Twitter. They both do a show on a Monday night about movies and stuff. And
apparently you're both iPad users.
No, Stuart's not an iPad user. He's an iPod user. Not an iPad user, though.
I'm an iPad user.
You're an iPad user because you need your handheld, don't you, Mousy?
I do.
And now, an Android tablet, on the other hand, is not quite like a smiling, approving mother. It's more like your creepy uncle who encourages you to do things that you'd never thought of, and then makes you promise not to tell anyone. Because it's your special secret.
No, the Android tablet is like the little sort of cousin in the corner that also turns out to be your brother.
Ugh, what a horrible thought. But yeah. That was Joe, actually. There's a guy, John Blythe. He writes for. He used to write for Official Xbox. I don't know if he still does, but he's very good. And he wrote a thing about. It was talk about that thing where you say my cock was this big, and you hold your hands a certain amount of time apart. And he was making a reference to that, saying there's a time when you hold your hands apart and say how big a cock is. And he was making reference to the fact that you might obviously have a small penis, and if it's on text, doesn't work. And I simply suggested if you've got your hands out right and both of them are holding a cock, you've probably got two very happy but very worried and concerned brothers in the room with you. And he retweeted me and said I was a master of optimism, blended with some sort of sinister sexual relation thing.
It's actually called skiing.
Yeah, I know
Having
that.
it low-key the side of you, and like Ski Sunday.
And a ski yogurt as well. Also fits into that nicely.
Why would you even need to know that?
Well, it's the internet. You know all sorts of things.
I have no conceivable answer to that. I was one of the sys-ups for Encyclopedia Dramatica for 4 years. It has completely destroyed my ability to tell information that I need to know and information which is worthless. So, I am Sherlock Holmes's thing about boxes in the loft.
I can pretty much do that about films too. Something useless about a film.
So there you go. Are you there, Tadpole? Are you in?
Yeah, I am.
Have you got any questions for either of us?
What are we going to do
nope.
now?
I'll think of one.
All right. Well, when you thought of one, do a noise like an Arabian sheep goat, and we'll come back to you so that you're not on the spot there. What about you, Andrew? Have you got a question for either myself or Dalek?
I was wondering what you're going to give us now to play in your absence for a couple of weeks for the ad that we normally play. If you.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that. We're not going away. We're just finishing this series. We're doing for E3. There's some special shows going out, and there's also one going out on Friday, a mini little one, because I've got some people from another website coming to visit the flat. And we've also got something else.
You'll have to get an ad to us then before 7:30 on Monday.
Well, we'll be broadcasting live at 7:30 on Monday, possibly at this rate. All depends how quickly the Xbox One finishes. Because we're going to go.
We won't be going until after that. So as soon as you finish, we'll be going on. So you can plug us at the end of that.
I will plug you at the end of that. Yes. But no,
I need to step in and rescue this process.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Well, you're the audio guy. You're going to be putting in a new advert for Series 2. You'll have to think.
Apparently.
You are. That's what it says on your name badge and your Holocaust ID card. That gets you 10% discount at Greg's. Which, with the pasty tax now gone, you can be quite rich.
Are you going to try and buy a cat in? Is the only other person I can see in the chat?
Well, I've not had a message. So if
come on, buy a cat.
Yeah.
Join in.
Buy a cat. Or just write a question on the chat thing if, you don't want to come in here and be in this sausage fest that's forming around the simple question of would you like to ask us a question, which seems to be the challenge at the moment.
Can I say something that's funny and interesting instead of can you have a question please?
Yeah, alright, go on then.
Police in Montreal say that the body parts that they have found are linked, which is funny to me because they're not, and that's why it's relevant that the police have found them.
Maybe there's pieces of string connecting them all.
Did you see what I did there?
I did see what you did there.
It's funny. It's funny because the body parts are linked, but they're oh god.
You got to keep that crying going for another 2 minutes. I haven't thought anything to say yet. Keep going. Clearly, obviously. Well, have you thought of a question yet, Stuart?
No, but I was just going to ask you, did you see that news story about that zombie guy?
Yes.
Who was not nomming on somebody's face.
Yeah, and he was naked as well at the same time. Yeah.
What I find really interesting was the fact that he was shot once and he was still eating the guy's face.
Yeah.
Yet the police were just still standing there looking at him.
He was
then
American,
shot him another
though.
8 times or something.
Yeah, he was American. You know, have you seen Man
Yeah,
vs.
true.
Food? You could shoot that guy a dozen times and nothing would happen. He'd probably just eat the bullets. He'd literally bite the bullets. I should have said that the first time. It would have been funny, but it would have at least sounded like I was quicker off the mark. But yeah, that was an interesting story. And I remember seeing a lot of people on Twitter saying, don't tell me the zombie holocaust hasn't started. Look at this. One bloke eats somebody's face while naked. And everybody's like, this is it? It's the end of days? Like, Jesus, they want to come down Wisbech High Street sometimes. And I'll see that on a daily at my events. This is where it'll begin. This is the beginning of the end. But nobody'd notice, to be honest. Nobody would notice. But we're safe in the Holocaust flat because the shop below us is derelict. And the stairs have gone, so unless you know the secret knock, we won't put the basket down for them. Sorted, you know. Unless Dalek turns. You're not planning on turning, are you, Dalek?
I would have thought my voice would indicate that I already had brains.
Yeah. Do you know what I love about just going about talk about zombies, obviously as if they're a real thing. When zombies in films say brains, they haven't got the cognitive function to talk. But they have got the cognitive function to say the exact thing they particularly like to eat, which again comes back to that American bloke.
Has there ever actually been a film where the zombies said brains?
Oh, I'm sure there have been plenty of crappy
I don't know
horror
where that
zombies.
comes from originally, where that's been spurned from somewhere.
Yeah.
Is
Lot of games
that
to do.
not Return of the Living Dead? That's what it's from.
I think.
I don't think there is. I don't think any of the zombies say anything in the Living Dead film.
No, they do
No,
say
Return
Return
of
of
the
the Living Dead.
It was the comedy kind of horror spin-offy
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah. And part 2 as well, they did that. And part 3, I think. I'm sure they
There's
did
not
3
been a
of them.
zombie musical yet, is there? That's just the one. That's the one cross genre.
Oh, they have. They have. There was that Asian zombie musical thing that I can never remember what it's called. But yeah, there was one. It was something like Life with a Yamamata. I can't remember. But yeah, if I just go a musical zombie Asian, it's just like, oh no, it's not coming up. Anyway, there is one. It's from Asia or.
Zombie Asian. I dread to think what kind of photos you might get on Google search for that.
Oh, it's okay. There's nothing I haven't seen. Dalek sends me every week like a Zeitgeist tape, and it's just every horrific image that's been released onto the internet that week, purely as a kind of preparatory tool in case I accidentally see something while browsing, and I'm then protected. It's good of you. Thank you.
Inoculation. Speaking of preposterous crossovers, has anybody heard of Pokemon Conquest?
Yes, I have. Anybody else?
No.
So I was just watching a tumbleweed go flying past.
Okay, long story short, Nobunaga's Ambition. It's a war game from 1983 about Nobunaga uniting Japan in the 16th century. They are doing a crossover of a 1983 war game based on Japanese medieval history and Pokemon.
Pokemon through time.
Well, no, it's what's even more surprising about that, not just that fact that they're blending those two games, but they're actually also going to do a localization for Europe and America, which is extremely odd.
Sorry, no,
Yeah.
great. I was just thinking of. Remember that Banzai show? Can you imagine that, but like presented by Pikachu?
No.
It would be pretty much the same thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would, but just with
A yellow character with wonky eyes, talking in a high-pitched, squeaky voice, introducing video clips. It would be the same program, but with more electricity. Anyway, that film, I found it. Happiness of the Katakuris, zombie musical comedy with humour that transwells well beyond that of a broad physical comedy. The poor Katakuris have a hotel that has a problem in ensuring all of its guests die. As far as zombie movies go, it's light yet gross as Dead Alive, which is a major feast, and it's ultimately rather charming. There you go.
And it's directed by Takeshi Miike, isn't it?
That's it. Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, Takashi Miike. That's the guy that did Audition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Itchy the Killer
That
as well.
that guy has something fucking wrong with him.
It's like the Japanese Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, he's worse.
I want to see him do the Japanese RoboCop. That'd be amazing.
Verhoeven's a fucking hack.
They should have got him to direct Total Recall instead of Len Wiseman.
I don't think that would be a good idea. Takeshi Miike would just make the entire film pulling that thing out of his nose. That would be it, just that, constantly.
No, let's be fair to the man's talent. He'd have the 3 boobs in it as well.
Whoa, hang on a
Have
second.
them talking.
So, is anybody else looking at the chat screen here? Jonas here, he's the guy that won the Back to the Future car that I still haven't posted. I must post that this weekend. He said that... all right, sharp. He said that Takeshi Miike made an Ace Attorney movie. Is that right? That can't be right. I can't believe that. That's... What? Really? Blimey. That's pretty good knowledge. I didn't know that. And I love the Ace Attorney things. I didn't know he was doing the film. I'd seen the pictures from the film.
No, you already did one.
Yeah, no, I've seen that, yeah. What? Well done. You've taught me something. Before I post it, I'll put something else in the envelope. Nothing that will get stopped by customs, though, because obviously he's from Germany. The winner who won, I've now got to send it abroad because I didn't put a thing on the form that said, if you live abroad. So I've got to send a toy car away. I was tempted to just leave some wires out and not put any postage on it. I think it's gone. Once it's out of my hands, it's gone. But yeah, Takeshi Miike, director of Audition, also did the live-action Phoenix Wright movie. That's brilliant.
Talk about that, actually, we should do some more competitions again.
What, on your show?
Yeah.
Don't have a bloody discussion about your own show on my show.
He's building up his part,
You can build up
so
his
to
part.
speak.
The only thing of worth actually he's ever done in my mind is he managed to throw a chip into a pint glass. That's it. And I'll keep going on about that as long as he likes. So yeah, thank you very much, Jonas B. You legend. Taught me something I didn't know. I like that. Anybody else wants to tell me some film that a director I know has directed that I didn't know? Feel free, but it might be a long conversation.
David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake, wrote The Scorpion King and X-Men 2, which is the best one in the series.
He also starred in a live-action version of what's the anime that's about the Guyver? He starred in the live-action.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
We started in one of the ones because there was two of them, but he's actually the main character in, I think it's Biomorphs or whatever it is or something.
Yeah.
Does he say, Metal Gear? You're talking about Metal Gear. Because that's the only reason I actually play the games anymore, so I can listen to David Hayter say, Metal Gear, and
He's a good writer, though.
He is a good writer. I used to think he was a good voice actor, but at some point they started having him do the voice for Big Boss as well as Solid Snake, and they said, do your Big Boss voice, only make it a little bit different. And he decided to do Solid Snake's voice, only give it a bit of a regional accent, and for some reason that will remain forever obscure to history, he decided to go a bit in the Fargo direction.
Yeah.
And it's like the point at which Johnny Depp walked into the studio one day and decided to do a Keith impression, and nobody said, no, man, no, don't do that. And history was changed forever.
I still haven't even completed the last Metal Gear Solid game on the PS3.
Which one is that? The
Whichever one was the first one on the PS3.
Number 4.
Oh, Guns of the Patriots.
Yeah,
I watched
FMV I got so bored of the movie because that's what it was. It's not a game; it's a movie, and it's not a very good movie. And I got so far in it, and then I've just never gone back to it because it was just crap.
Yeah, I just watched all the cutscenes on YouTube rather than play it. I think it took me about 6 hours.
Do when you play it though, so how's that really any different? Anyone who hasn't bought it, hasn't played it, don't bother buying it. Just go on YouTube, search for the FMV sequences, and that's it.
Yeah, well done for paraphrasing what Dalek just said. Make it sound like your idea. Brilliant. All right,
Here's something for you, Bouncy. Takeshi Miike. I've just checked here. He was in the Animal Crossing movie. He actually starred in the Animal Crossing movie.
Did he play the mole, Resetti the mole? Because if he did, that would be fucking amazing. Please tell me he was.
Have a look now.
Oh, that'd be brilliant if he just come up and he was like, "You turn your fucking game off without saving!" And they just chopped him up with razor wire and then hung the fucking frog mare or turtle mare from the town hall by meat hooks. Obviously, that wouldn't have happened, but in my mind now, that's all that could have happened. I still haven't seen it. I keep meaning to watch it, but I haven't seen the release over here yet. I don't think they did.
He played a character called Rakosuki.
It's quite close to Rossetti. I know Rossetti was the localization name. I don't think he was called that there. That would be ridiculous.
He was called Reset-san in the original.
Really?
That was played by Yuichi Kimura.
Oh well. For 30 seconds, 13 seconds of my life, I had a better image in my head than I have now. But that's still pretty good. Thank you very much for bringing up. I think Takeshi Miike trivia is something that I quite clearly lack. I kind of know his most notable works and have kind of sat and shown a load. When I was at I went back to college as a mature student, which was a bit insult because I was only 21 at the time. But I went back to college and they wanted to set up a film club. And I said, well, I've got tons of films they could watch. So they let me kind of curate the film club. And we had 2 films to show a week. And the first 2 films I showed, and I didn't think at the time, most of them were 16-year-old kids. So it was kind of, we were showing the wrong films anyway. I showed David Lynch's The Straight Story, followed by Battle Royale. And all the people that walked out The Straight Story missed out on Battle Royale and then begged me to let them watch it the next week. And I was like, no, you missed it. You have to see them both. And so we watched pretty much every week. We watched a kind of extreme Asian cinema film. And it just, the numbers in that room just kind of doubled every single week because they just wanted to see this kind of film until the principal of the college found out and shut us down. So you can't show that kind of filth. I was like, but it's educational. What's wrong with you? Every single one of these media studios is going to make a low-budget horror film.
At school.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just Googling extreme Asian.
Yeah. Butt plugs as well. Mix that in there and you'll be fine.
Fuck me nigga in the bun.
Whatever else got. Right, for anybody that didn't listen, or didn't hear, whatever, on Friday, I don't know if any of you are aware of the Mature Gamer podcast. It's a very good podcast. I've kind of mentioned it a couple of times on the show. There are 2 of the hosts, Kev and Steve. Now, Steve's name's not really Steve. He's got lots of nicknames, and I'm going to try and find exactly what his real name is. I think if it's said, he'll be like Rumpelstiltskin, and he'll kind of have to stamp his foot and then stomp off, and I've got laminate. He'll go through that. So they're coming around here to the Holocaust flat, and we're actually going to do a kind of 20-minute sit-down round the iPad app and just have a little chat. So that will be going out. But obviously, if you've got any other people would like to come in and do a proper interview, obviously with the Monday Moo Show guys, if you want to come out and we'll do a proper interview with you on another show, we can do that as record it as a podcast and then put it out as a kind of an extra. And
give me a second. I'm just gonna Google mature gamer. Mature gay. Oh, it's come up with something already.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking somebody at some point in all the shows I've done would have mentioned that at some point, but yeah, it's also hesitant because I'm.
Just need the phrase. You can't do that with a joypad.
Oh, trust me, there are a lot of things on the internet you can do with a joypad. There was a whole photo set of a Suicide Girl model where she just posed with a series of peripherals and accessories. And a friend of mine who is kind of the second biggest retro gamer I know was just complaining about the state of some of the consoles we're in at the time.
Let me just get the Lolacore saucepan to do this bit so I get the echo effect.
Go on then.
Hello from the bottom of the barrel.
All right. Jesus, I'm not getting you back on. You were better when you were pre-recorded. I could just turn you off when I wanted to. But no, anyway, this isn't quality broadcasting. This is just chatting with our listeners, giving them a chance to, giving them a chance to ask us questions. Stuart, what's your question?
I don't have one.
24 minutes in! You've only got 6 minutes left!
Can
Unless
I
the
go
answer's yes, I don't think I'm going to be able to answer properly.
Can I go home?
No.
I'd like to call this the
Damn it.
Guantanamo method of broadcasting.
Well, it's not even broadcast, is it, really? I mean, if we weren't doing it live, it wouldn't be a broadcast. It's good to give something back, you know? All these people have listened tirelessly, and then we give them this rubbish as a reward.
It's more like a cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.
It's not like the Cosby Show. It's really not.
It's not like the Cosby Show. Hey, hey, hey. There you go. Now it is like the Cosby Show. Sort of. I'm not wearing a jumper, though. But if I was, it would be made of the finest cashmere.
We got time to talk about Max Payne 3.
Of course we have. Go ahead. 5 minutes. Go on. We'll go for another half hour. I don't care. I'm here all night.
It's lovely. Really lovely.
It
really
is.
like it.
It is. And the integration of the narrative cutscenes and the action is brilliant.
Is it better than Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah. I think the reason why games like Max Payne have prospered, whereas games like Metal Gear Solid look a bit stupid, has to do with the fact that Japanese games, what made Japanese games popular is that back in the 1980s they were doing properly produced games with a story, whereas Western games gave you a bit more choice but looked a bit silly in comparison, whereas nowadays Japanese games just look like they have all the deluded grandeur of a school play if you play the Final Fantasies, whereas Western games have moved a bit towards what made Japanese games good in the first place, and as a result you're getting games like Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, the stuff that I think is some of the best games I've ever seen, and I think they interviewed the head of Squaresoft about this issue recently, and he just shrugged and said, "Oh, well, Western games give you too much choice." And what can you say? That's his response to stuff like Skyrim.
That's not the difference between a Western game and an Eastern game. That's the difference between a game and a movie.
Well, it's like Phil Fish, isn't it? The creator of Fez. He just said that Japanese games suck. At the game developer, was it the Game Developers Conference?
And the guy that created Mega Man agreed with him.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing at the moment is that while everybody else has developed and kind of moved on and looked at kind of making it a more interactive experience, although the interactive side of Japan is a far more sinister and kind of worrying world of gaming, and if they kind of mix that in with Final Fantasy, we would have some very intriguing releases that would sell very well among the teenage community of Britain. But
I had an intriguing release this morning.
And what was intriguing about it?
It was yellow.
Intriguing.
Like rubber bands, and it had the consistency of rubber bands too.
Nice.
I flicked it at a pig.
Just like Angry Birds then. Wow. On that bombshell.
Sorry, I don't know where that came
How
from.
can we? I love it. How can we do anything else now? I'm broken. I'm done. I've got to the point that the Gamescast hit after 30 seconds of you talking. I'm thinking I can't top that. I cannot
Fetch
top
another
it.
bouncy. This one's broke.
Yeah. Quickly, I've got about a minute left to tell you this. Where I work is 2 doors away from a music shop that sells vintage vinyl, right? And where I work is in a town which has a very high Eastern European population because of the kind of the rural area, right? No word of a lie. I was in there this week because he often gets change from us, so I went to drop it into him. Somebody said, "I will not buy this record, it is scratched," and didn't fucking laugh. And I nearly pissed myself on the spot because I never thought it would happen. He didn't know it was funny. He didn't understand when I tried to explain to him either. But he genuinely, he would not buy the record because it was scratched. And I will never hear a funnier thing said inside a vintage vinyl record shop.
That's nice, dear.
Yeah. And I managed to fit that in quite a small thing. I was going to explain it over 20 minutes in the main show. So it went quite well. Anyway, right. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. I don't think there's a need to do another half an hour. Does anybody want another half an hour?
Show us the way to go home.
Exactly. So we'll leave you instead with this amazing piece of music from a very brilliant game. You won't get the whole of it, but here we go.
Never been so much fun. 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 Don't do it right. Kill it with your gun. Make it rain in this uniform, bang in the sun.
thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. That has been the Holocaust Series 1. Goodbye!